Have you ever gotten an apology that just felt off? Like the words were there, but the meaning was missing? You're not imagining it. That's the classic false apology, and today, we're diving deep into the psychology behind why people say sorry without ever intending to change, and more importantly, how you can spot it and what to do about it. So, what exactly is a false apology? It's a statement that looks like an apology on the surface but lacks genuine remorse or accountability. Think phrases like, "I'm sorry you feel that way," or "I'm sorry, but you also did this ... These aren't apologies. They're deflections. They shift the blame from the person's actions onto your reaction. A real apology owns the behavior, not just the outcome. It says, "I'm sorry for what I did," not "I'm sorry for how you felt about what I did." That distinction is crucial. So why do people do this? Why go through the motions of an apology without the substance? The reasons are complex, but they often boil down to a few key psychological drivers. First up is ego protection. For some people, admitting fault feels like a direct attack on their self-worth. Their ego is so fragile that saying "I was wrong" is psychologically unbearable. So they construct a false apology to preserve their self-image as a good person while avoiding the discomfort of true accountability. They get the social credit for apologizing without having to do the hard work of self-reflection. Another major reason is conflict avoidance. Many people are terrified of confrontation. They just want the unpleasant situation to be over. A quick "I'm sorry" can feel like a magic wand to make the conflict disappear. They're not sorry for their actions, they're sorry that there's tension, and they want it to stop immediately. The apology is a tool to restore harmony, not to repair harm. The problem is, this is a short-term fix. The underlying issue hasn't been addressed, so it's guaranteed to pop up again later. Then there's the issue of manipulation. This is the darker side of false apologies. A strategic, insincere apology can be a powerful tool for controlling others. A person might apologize to appease you, to get you to drop your guard, or to make you feel like you're the one being unreasonable for staying upset. It's a way to manage your emotions and control the narrative. For example, in a relationship, one partner might repeatedly apologize for the same behavior, knowing that the apology will earn them forgiveness and allow them to continue the pattern without consequences. Finally, some people simply lack empathy. They genuinely don't understand how their actions have impacted you. They might see that you're upset, and they know that an apology is the socially expected response, but they can't connect with your feelings. Their apology is a learned script, not an expression of genuine understanding or remorse. They're going through the motions because it's what they're supposed to do. Okay, so now that we know why people do it, how can we spot a false apology in the wild? There are some clear red flags. The first is conditional language. Words like "if" and "but" are huge giveaways. "I'm sorry if I hurt you" implies that maybe you weren't hurt, or that your hurt is debatable. "I'm sorry, but you were yelling" immediately shifts blame and justifies their own behavior. A real apology has no conditions. Another red flag is a focus on your reaction. "I am sorry you took it that way," or "I am sorry you feel that way." These phrases put the responsibility on your interpretation, not on their action. It subtly suggests that if you were just a little less sensitive, there wouldn't be a problem. It's a classic gaslighting technique. Look out for passive voice. Mistakes were made. This famous non-apology avoids taking any personal responsibility. Who made the mistakes? The sentence structure conveniently leaves that part out. A genuine apology uses active, personal language. "I made a mistake." Also, pay attention to what happens after the apology. A true apology is followed by a change in behavior. If someone repeatedly apologizes for the same thing over and over again, their words are meaningless. Actions are the true measure of remorse. An apology without change is just manipulation. The person has learned that saying the magic words gets them off the hook, so they keep using them without any intention of actually modifying their behavior. So the big question, how do you respond when you receive one of these empty apologies? Your response is critical because it sets the boundary for how you expect to be treated. First, take a moment. Don't feel pressured to accept the apology immediately, especially if it feels wrong. It's okay to say, "I need some time to think about that." Next, you can choose to calmly and clearly identify the issue. You could say something like, "I appreciate you saying that, but when you say you're sorry I feel this way, it doesn't feel like you're taking responsibility for your actions." This isn't about starting a fight. It's about educating them on what a real apology looks and sounds like. You're holding up a mirror to their words. Another powerful response is to focus on the future. You can say, "Thank you for the apology. What's most important to me is that this behavior changes. How can we make sure this doesn't happen again?" This moves the conversation from the hollow words of the past to the concrete actions of the future. It calls their bluff. If they were just trying to end the conversation, this question forces them to engage with the actual problem. In some situations, especially with repeat offenders, the best response might be to not accept the apology at all. You can say, "I hear you, but I can't accept your apology right now. We've been here before, and the behavior hasn't changed. Words aren't enough for me anymore." This is a powerful boundary. It communicates that your trust has been broken and that it will take more than a cheap sorry to repair it. Remember, you are not obligated to accept an apology that doesn't feel genuine. Accepting a false apology can actually be damaging. It teaches the other person that they can harm you without real consequences. It invalidates your own feelings and can slowly erode your self-esteem. You start to think, "Maybe I am too sensitive. Maybe I am overreacting." No, trust your gut. Your feelings are valid. Protecting your peace is your number one priority. This might mean creating distance from people who consistently offer false apologies. You can't force someone to be self-aware or empathetic, but you can control whether you allow their behavior to continue affecting you. Setting boundaries is not about punishing the other person. It's about protecting yourself. Let's recap the key strategies. First, recognize the signs, conditional words, focus on your feelings, and passive language. Second, pause before you respond. Don't be rushed. Third, calmly state what's missing. "I need to hear you take responsibility for your actions." Fourth, shift the focus to future behavior. What will you do differently next time? And fifth, if it's a pattern, refuse to accept the apology and reinforce your boundary. I need to see change, not just hear words. Navigating these conversations takes courage, but it's essential for healthy relationships and your own mental well-being. True connection is built on a foundation of trust and mutual respect, and that requires genuine accountability. False apologies are cracks in that foundation. By learning to identify and respond to them effectively, you're not just demanding respect from others. You're giving it to yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this gives you the tools and the confidence to handle these tricky situations. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe for more content on psychology and personal growth, and share your own experiences with false apologies in the comments below. Let's learn from each other. See you in the next video.